It is once again time to take a look at some great PS4 game deals. We've got a lot of great deals to go over, and all of these games come in at under $20, and these are some great games that are definitely worth your money, so let's just get right into the top 10 PS4 game deals under $20. Dark Souls 3 for $5. Dark Souls 3 is a great action RPG from Software. If you don't know the formula by now, you're really missing out. There's a reason why Souls has become one of the most iconic video game franchises over the last decade, and Dark Souls 3 is the culmination of From Software's work in the franchise, and from a gameplay standpoint, world design, visually, it is absolutely top-notch. The game is available for just $5 at your local RedBox. The Last of Us Remastered for $10. Naughty Dog is arguably the most talented video game studio out there. They've created some absolutely terrific games, from Crash Bandicoot, Uncharted, and of course what many would consider to be the PlayStation 3 swan song, The Last of Us. The Last of Us also came to PlayStation 4 in the form of Last of Us Remastered. It saw all the typical refinements, better visuals, better technical performance, and you also get The Last of Us Left Behind DLC. The game itself, if you haven't played it at this point, you are really missing out. This is arguably Naughty Dog's finest work, from the great character development, great world building, and for just $10 on Amazon and PSN, it is a great deal.
What's left of them? Why do you think I'm turning to you guys? This way.
So why now?
We've been quiet. Been planning on leaving the city, but we didn't see. Trying to rile us up.
Looks like they did.
We're trying.
Until Dawn for $10. Until Dawn was one of the early PlayStation 4 exclusives. It was by a studio called Supergiant Games, not the most well-known studio in the world, but they did a very good job with Until Dawn. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, but it's a zany, off-the-wall, horror, story-driven adventure. Think something like Heavy Rain, not up to that quality standard, but a very good game in its own right. The real issue with Until Dawn was it was released at a $60 price point. You could complete the game rather quickly, and yeah, there was some replay options, but many would say it wasn't worth the $60. Now that it's available for just $10, it's at a much palatable price point. You can get it at that price over at Fry's.
Sam!
The Uncharted Collection for $10. We've already talked about how Naughty Dog is one of the most talented studios in the world, maybe the most talented, and many would say they established that claim with the Uncharted franchise on the PlayStation 3. Uncharted was also brought over to the PlayStation 4 with the Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection, including Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, as well as Uncharted 3. At this point, the games are older, but they still hold up with the best games these days. The first Uncharted game is the one where you can tell it's a bit dated, but Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 are still fantastic games with the great pacing, great gameplay. If you have a PlayStation, Uncharted is a game you absolutely have to experience. Play the Uncharted Collection and then you'll want to play Uncharted 4 too. The collection is available for $10 at Fry's, but it is in store only.
Beginnings. Just what is it you're after?
That's just a little historical research.
Don't tell me you're buying into all that supernatural nonsense.
You love all this as much as I do.
No.
Bloodborne for $10. Bloodborne was another one of From Software's works. Many would say Bloodborne is their favorite of their games, and this one is a PlayStation 4 exclusive set in a medieval gothic style setting. It's a very cool and atmospheric setting that sets it apart from Dark Souls, but it does have the same formula. There are some gameplay differences, but it's still of the same quality, and that quality is of an elite level. Visually, the game looks great. Gameplay-wise, it plays great, and the boss fights are as thrilling as ever. Bloodborne is available for $10 at Fry's, but it is on back order, so you'll have to order it and wait a little bit. Ratchet & Clank for $10. Ratchet & Clank is one of the most iconic franchises on the PlayStation 2. It also had an impact on the PlayStation 3 library with the Ratchet & Clank Future series. For PlayStation 4 for a while, it was quiet. We didn't see a new game until 2016 where we got Ratchet & Clank. Now, while this isn't a brand new game, rather it's a recreation of the very first Ratchet & Clank game, don't think of this as your typical HD remastering. It definitely isn't that. Ratchet & Clank is the first game built ground up for the PlayStation 4, and just by looking at the game, you can immediately tell this is an amazing looking game that is only possible on the PlayStation 4. The gameplay is as zany as ever, the platforming is great, the weapons are as crazy as ever, and you've still got that Ratchet & Clank storytelling and humor. For just $10 at Fry's, it's a great deal. Once again, it is in store only.
Disassembled weapons and engine parts everywhere. Didn't you tell me you were gonna clean it up last week?
Yeah, sorry about that. Got held up on a project.
Beginner's Guide to Quantum Burst Engines.
Just throw that anywhere. I have it bookmarked.
What's this? Fun with singularities and other cataclysms.
Odin Sphere Leifthrasir for $20. Vanillaware has created some fantastic games: Dragon's Crown, Muramasa the Demon's Blade, and the great PS2 title Odin Sphere. Odin Sphere came back on the PS4 with Odin Sphere Leifthrasir, and it is a great recreation of the game. It looks great, the gameplay's been improved, and Odin Sphere is one of those games that many of you probably missed out on, so it's great to check it out. It did release at $50, which that was a very expensive price point because at the end of the day, this is a PlayStation 2 game, but now it's available for just $20 at GameStop. It's sold out online, so you'll have to go to your local store. Dishonored: Death of the Outsider for $18. Dishonored has been one of the great new IPs of the last 5 years. The first game was really good and the second game was even better. Just a little while ago, we saw the release of Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, which is a standalone expansion. It's a little bit on the shorter side, clocking it at around 5 hours, but you're still getting that same great Dishonored experience. It's more of the same, nothing really that groundbreaking, but you don't really need to fix what isn't broken. The expansion released at $30 and already it's down to $18 on Newegg after a promo code, which will be in the description box. Rayman Legends for $19. Rayman Legends is one of the best platformers you are ever going to come across. It's one of the highest rated platformers ever. From the game's visuals, level designs, controls, soundtrack, and overall gameplay, it is an absolutely exceptional platform, one of the best ever created, and it has a large amount of content. Unfortunately, the game didn't sell all too well, and it is another game that a lot of you probably missed out on, and that's a shame because it is a must-play game if you're into platformers, and who doesn't love a quality, well-developed platformer? It's available on Amazon for just $19, and that price is a bargain. Pick it up. And finally, Wolfenstein the 2-pack for $19.99 on Amazon. Wolfenstein the 2-pack includes Wolfenstein the New Order as well as Wolfenstein the Old Blood, two excellent single-player first-person shooters. And yes, they are single-player only, but you get great single-player campaigns out of both games. The New Order, many consider it to be one of the best games of this generation so far. That's a game that has a content-filled single-player experience that'll take you 8 to 12 hours to complete. And Wolfenstein the Old Blood is more of the same. It's a shorter experience at around 4 to 5 hours, but both games are definitely worth your time. They have great gameplay, great storytelling, and great characters, and atmospherically they're very absorbing as well. These two games will get you ready for the highly anticipated Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus that's releasing later this year. Wolfenstein the 2-pack is available for just $19.99 on Amazon.
Ich weiß und ich bin stolz auf dich.
So that wraps up 10 amazing PS4 game deals for under $20. What do you think? Picking any of these up? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.